Welcome back to Hoochos. Today on Cooking with Hooch, I'm going to be taking you on a journey through the creation of a Massaman Curry that draws its roots from Thailand. I'm going to be utilizing as many fresh ingredients for this curry paste as possible. I'm going to show you how I'm growing them and what systems I'm growing them in, utilizing as many fresh ingredients as we can to make this dish. Now, this episode would not have been possible without Max Miller's tasting history, so I will recommend that you go and watch his video next, as this recipe is directly inspired by his recipe that he did a ton of research on, and there's a whole historical background to this dish that he explores in depth on his channel. He even expresses in the video his future intentions to grow galangal fresh so that he can use it in his recipes. So to start with, we're going to cook some dry spices. 1 tablespoon of coriander seeds, 2 teaspoons of cumin seeds, 1 tablespoon of grated coconut, 1 teaspoon of Siam cardamom pods, or if you don't have those, Max says you can use the seeds from the green cardamom pods, which I ended up using myself. And 4 cloves. We're gonna toast this over a medium hot pan for a few minutes, and then we're just gonna add that into our mortar and pestle. Grind that up and put that aside for after we've prepared our curry paste. Now, this spice rack is actually 3D printable. The reason I made it was because I found these little containers going cheap at my local supermarket just as an on special item, and I loved the size and the way they stacked. So I created these wall mounts for them so that I can have them just easily accessible to me. This print is available on my Patreon, and I'll leave a link to where you can get these. No sponsored placement, just like, I love this setup. Now here's the fun part, the fresh ingredients. For the curry paste, you're going to need 6 or 7 chilies. Max in his video uses red chilies, which gives his curry a vibrant red color. I'm actually going to be using green chilies because that's what I've got on hand. We're using rather mild chilies as well. Okay, so the first chilies I picked were jalapeno chilies, and these jalapeno chilies actually came from, as you can see here, they were originally in my mason jar hydroponic system, and I've moved them out into, this is the grow spike hydroponic system with the terracotta pots, and I just threw them in here willy-nilly. I didn't really expect them to do too well, but as you can see, they're just loaded with jalapenos. I'm really happy with the result. This system is incredible, and it just tops up from a float valve, and the nutrient solution gets wicked up into the pots, and it looks pretty good too, I think. And it's a really hassle-free set and forget garden, essentially. The next ingredient that I picked up was galangal. Galangal. This is galangal. I had no idea of how to use it until I watched that video by Max Miller. I was like, I actually have most of the ingredients to make this incredible dish. That's kind of how this video came about. The galangal is actually the rhizome, so I had a hard time getting in there, but eventually I just cut out a piece of the galangal to use for this recipe, and this is what that looks like. The galangal is in a very similar hydroponic system to the last one. It tops up from a float valve. This is the bagged cocoa method, the cheap alternative to growers pots. They are dropped over the top of the reimagined rain gutter grow system. So this is incredibly productive. There's a mixture of potatoes, ginger, and at the end galangal growing in these bags, and I'm really happy with how the system's progressing. The 2 wicks that penetrate into the bottom of the bags are perfectly adequate to deliver any amount of nutrient that they need, because this has gone all the way through summer as well. So very happy with this hydroponic system. The next ingredient is spring onion, and I only have one left after the one that I collected yesterday. This is an NFT hydroponic system, a very bare NFT hydroponic system, but as you can see, that is not necessarily always the case. This is actually rosy pak choi. I love using this in all different dishes, but this isn't an ingredient we're using today. So as you can see, the spring onions absolutely love the NFT. Usually I'll just leave these in, but I'm actually gonna take these out and replant them. So I just remove most of the roots. They can take a beating. Throw them into a pot with cocoa. So this is another one of our rain gutter grow systems. And then you'll get this regrowth coming out of the middle of the spring onion. And then it's basically just a perpetual plant. It's really great. And just as a quick side note, these are Japanese taro, or just taro plants. And I recently saw Max's Hawaiian special where they use taro to wrap up
Kalua pua, or Kalua pig.
And if you like this style of video, I'd love to do an episode on this system and recreate another one of Max's recipes, because they're all just so well researched and they look so good. You just got to make them. Let me know in the comments. And we're actually going to be using a second type of chili today. This is a Fresno chili, and it is growing in the Hooch multi-bucket hydroponic system. This is actually the first chili plant ever to be grown in a Hooch multi-bucket, and I think that's pretty cool. And as you can see, all of these plants, they're just going gangbusters with the cocoa wicking up from the rain gutter grow system below. These are the actual plants, the actual first chili plants that I grew ever in the Hooch multi-bucket video, and I've just transplanted them from inside to outside because it's so easy to pick up the buckets and move them around. Foresee just having chilies on hand for the remainder of my life, because I'm just going to keep cutting these bushes back and then letting them grow out, and that just seems to have encouraged so much growth. They love being chopped right back down and then growing back out again. And we're going to use, I'm going to use 4 large elephant garlic cloves, but you can use 7 normal sized garlic cloves yourself. And we're also going to need some lemongrass. Now, this lemongrass actually predates my hydroponics addiction, but it's such a hardy plant that I just don't think it requires the effort of a hydroponic system. Just throw it anywhere in your garden. This plant has lived through many a drought. It actually thrives too well. I have to cut it back with a hedge trimmer, and then it just shoots through again. It's looking lovely at the moment and gives this incredible aroma as well. So I took a couple of sprigs of that. We can dice all of our ingredients and throw them into a medium hot pan until they're charred. With the chilies, you want to remove all the seeds and just use the skin so that it's not too hot and the paste can remain a nice consistency. Now we're going to combine all of the curry paste ingredients into a mortar and pestle. We're going to add in some shrimp paste. I actually used miso paste as a substitute. We're going to grind it up. Now you need to use your hands to grind it, to sort of crush all of the flavors out, the oils. After I did that, just to get a nice consistency, I threw it in a blender as well. Okay, put that aside for 1 second. We're going to prepare the chicken. I'm going to cut up 1 kilo of chicken thighs into large pieces, and we're going to add 2 tablespoons of coconut oil into a hot pan so that we can brown our chicken. While that chicken's browning, we are going to crack some coconut cream. So make sure there's no adulterations to the coconut cream. It has to be 100% coconut cream. Throw a half cup of that into a pan and it will start to bubble. I actually don't think I cracked it enough. I should have let more of the moisture evaporate out of the coconut cream. To the coconut cream, we add the dry spices and the curry paste, and you just mix that in. Once your chicken's cooked, I'm using a slow cooker just so that I don't have to watch a stove for a few hours, but you can use the stove if you like. Add your chicken into the slow cooker, then add your curry. To that, we're also going to add another 1.5 cups of coconut cream, totaling 2 cups. I actually use about 800 mils for this recipe just to extend it a little bit. We're gonna leave that for an hour, and we're gonna add in a cinnamon stick. I just used a normal cinnamon stick, but you can use specifically a cassia cinnamon stick, which is from the original recipe if you like. After an hour has passed, we add in 2 tablespoons of fish sauce, 3 tablespoons of palm sugar, but I just substituted out raw sugar. I do actually wish I had palm sugar because it would give some distinct flavors, and 3 tablespoons of lime juice. Now, quite embarrassed that none of my trees have any limes at the moment, but this is actually substituting tamarind juice that Max used himself. And we're going to use another half cup of those shallots, the spring onion. Luckily, I had the perfect amount with 1 large spring onion that I was able to use. Now, the final fresh ingredient is ginger. And this is my revolutionary new method of growing ginger and turmeric. It is a rain gutter grow system. Again, utilizing the wick wedge, which you could substitute out for a grow spike, and the cheap alternative bagging techniques to rebag and reuse cocoa to essentially perpetually harvest ginger and turmeric, or really anything that you want to grow in this system. I grabbed a rhizome of ginger and we're going to add 3 slices to our end result. And finally, 3 bay leaf, and we cook that for as long as you like. In a slow cooker, just an hour will do, but I cooked mine for about 3 hours, I think it was, and it just turned out incredible. And there you have it. That is my recreation of Max Miller's Thai chicken Massaman Curry. I really hope you like my idea of food presentation. He says you don't need the rice, but I always eat curry with rice, and I actually don't think you need the rice. It is just so good. I could eat the whole lot on its own, but I do want it to last a while because there's a lot of effort involved, though the effort is worth it. It's been a day, and Max says to wait a day because the flavors will intensify. So I guess let's give it a try. Just gonna get rid of these things. This is the ginger, fresh ginger tops, and just a couple of bay leaves. I thought that was appropriate. I've never done food photography before, so all right, here we go. It's more complex. It was really nice. I had a bowl last night, obviously. Just giving it time to sit and for the flavors to do their thing. So this is incredible. The fresh ingredients to make that base curry, I think it's worth it. I think it's worth growing all of it yourself. I mean, you know where it comes from then, and you have it on hand. I think you could probably make up that curry paste in big batches and then freeze it and then have fresh curry paste on hand, and it's worth it. This is great. And all of those dry spices that we crushed up, we know how he does it on the channel. I know how he talks about the food that he's eating and doesn't just eat it all at once. I understand why he's got the bowl underneath the camera most of the time, because I think you probably just get into eating it and then eat it all. And it'd also ruin the continuity of the video, I guess, if just chunks of food just started going missing on camera. I've always wondered why he does that. Oh yeah, with the rice. I just prepared this rice the normal way. This is incredible. Enough of me eating on camera. Thank you for joining me today on Hoochos. Thank you to Max, Max Miller. Thank you so much for taking me on adventures all around the world and into the past and inspiring a bunch of cooking that I've done. I mean, some of the plants I grow are because of recipes that I've learned through you. So thank you for educating us, and it's a brilliant channel. Happy hydroponicking, and I will see you next time, and leave a link to Max's channel at the end on Hoochos. All right, I'm gonna just cut it down on this now. I could do more of these episodes, let me know, because they give me a reason to cook incredible food.